This week is about what do I deserve? Which are my boundaries? And which relationship do I want to take to the next level? Welcome.
Hi there, Taurus, and welcome to your modern shaman, Maria in RainbowLand, here with the weekly forecast from the 15th till the 22nd of October 2018. So I'm here to give you the report. First, for just the simple part of the report, where we go into Taurus of this week, the main traits, and then after that follows the deeper, going into the deep astrology of the week for all of us. So for the ones that just want to get a quick Snapchat, just start with the beginning and then we go into the other section. The winner of the week is Felicita France from Germany. Last week was Scorpio from Colombia, and the week before a Scorpio from the States. So the winner of half an hour reading with me, consultation, is Felicitas, and she is the last person that's gonna win this contest for this round, because I'm gonna go into silent retreat and do a lot of other stuff that does so that I don't have the time to do it, the free readings, for a little while. So, well, this week, Taurus, this week you are gonna go through a commitment to the lifestyle that you have, changes within this. What is it? Which kind of lifestyle do you want? What is it you can reorganize? You've been thinking about this for the last weeks, and when I mean lifestyle changes, I'm talking work-wise, day-to-day routines, health, diet, fitness. How do you organize these things that you do in your life regularly in a new and better way? And you're gonna commit to them this week. You're gonna do something about them this week. You're gonna make a change, and also you're going to ask yourself questions about what do I deserve in relationships, what do I want. In the beginning of the week you're going to, think about, like, what is it that I want to change in my lifestyle, what is it that I'm going to change in my relationships, who's in, who's out, who's with me on my journey, who's coming along in that backpack as I'm packing and shifting camps in my life, and altering the relationship level in my life, and who's not. And then later on the week you're going to talk to people probably about it, the ones that are involved in these processes, and make new commitments on a deeper level to some. And then of course it will not stop, because your planet is going retrograde, so these themes are going to come back again. But this is an important week for this. Let us see where it is that I am. Just enjoy the fire here and the beautiful light that's coming in. Yeah. So about this lifestyle changes, it can have something to do, like if you want to eat like this or not, do you want to sleep like this or not, how late you want to go to bed, or early, are you gonna get another kind of diet, do something else in the breaks that are better for you, get a sleep during the day, organize the day like this or not, So yeah, and just deciding which partners are coming in and which are not staying. Big decisions, people coming in and out of your life right now. So a lot of changes for the Taurus, not necessarily just on an outside level. It can also be feeling boundaries on the inside, and setting these boundaries. Letting people know where they are, where you are at now, so that it doesn't have to mean that someone is leaving your life. It can just be that you're altering the way the relationship were. And this can be in all senses, because partners can be business partners, it can be, your children, your marital partners, any kind of connection that you have with other people, or, the teacher of your child is being shifted, stuff like that. But you know what it is in your life, so you feel into it, and of course you need to follow your heart. And with the stuff going on in Scorpio, it's always a schizophrenic choice, because it's always between something a little bit extremely in this direction, or something in the other direction. And of course our mind always labels stuff as good or bad. So you know what is the better choice for you, and you of course this is the week for you to feel into what is a better choice to make. And nothing is final in this, since Venus is going to go over it again. There can still be some adjustments, but it's the last week of the Sun in Libra, and this is something to, and this is where you really alter the lifestyle changes that you have been thinking about. Now is the time to apply them at the end of this week. They will need to be applied, the changes that you have wanted for yourself and that you know you want to alter. Card of the week for the Taurus. Card of the week. So, card of the week for the Taurus has something to do with, you have started some lifestyle changes. You're implementing them in the physical world, and they will grow on you slowly. You have to have patience with the results, because whenever we're dealing with health situations or routines and stuff where we change our ways, they say that for example with the diet, if you change your diet, it takes 3 months to have cleared and cleaned out your system, and your body will have adjusted to the new diet. So it's patience around all this that you have been starting, and that you're starting now in your lifestyle, and then they will blossom soon enough. So earth connection, as you're good at, patience, as you're also good at if you don't push things too much, and everything will be just fine, also in your relationships. Oh yeah, Taurus, and yes, of course, it's also this patience has something to do with that. We know that your planet is in retrograde, so of course you have to give it time, these changes. But yeah, you're definitely more clear about certain things about other people this week, as it would go out of the week, as we end this week. Well, so the collective part of this week will be a talk where you look upon beautiful things that I'm filming from the air, places that I love, that are charged with spiritual and divine energy. Don't you feel it? Yeah, I think you do. It's both at my home and very close to my home here in Denmark. Our home, I mean, of course. Yeah. So let's see. This week, well, I want to start with actually Mercury, of course, because Mercury is the main character this week. He's conjuncting Venus in the beginning of the week, and he's squaring the node. So, and actually, I just want to say about Mercury that he's retrograding from the 17th of November to the 7th of December. So we will have a Mercury retrograde coming soon enough. So we have a Mercury squaring the node. So this has something to do with, are you actually going to, in your life, are you actually bringing forth the childlike, more playful, heartful side of yourself? Or are you more like, because Leo is where the North Node is, and are you going to be like the more rebellious, radical, and genius Aquarius? Which side to choose is what it's asking really now. So, but we have to know that the South Node is, of course, are we really going to get anything out of being radical and rebellious now that the South Node is here, even though Mars is also here? Because Mars indirect in Aquarius is gonna wanna, go into these wild, weird worlds where we can express our deep, radical selves, But I don't think it's a great idea when we have the South Node here where we are not supposed to go. So, well, the question is also: are you really who you think you are, or is it just an identification with an ego that you have built a house upon, a rotten fundament? Like, is it really time now to find out who you really are? I mean, we are dealing with our troubled sides, of course, and we have Chiron in Pisces, so it's also about the guilt and the shame of all the things that fell apart in our lives, and the most sensitive things, and the most intense feelings and emotions on a dramatic level. Like, feelings are changing. And this Mercury-Venus conjunction Monday evening here in Denmark, with Mercury in Scorpio, we are here. He's investigating things on a deep level, not only just on the surface or in the mind. It's on the deep emotional level, and he's kind of like, he wants to investigate so much there, so much more intense than other places. So he's trying to find a better suggestion for a life plan, for what we want, and how we can manifest deeper, more real understandings of, like, we're trying to understand and see the deeper layers of life here, and we're going to discover these deeper unconscious layers of ourselves. So, but the question is, again, with this bipolar sign of Scorpio, which ones take us to the higher realms of consciousness and to our open heart, and thereby to true love, right? Which ones doesn't? Which ones are like taking us down bad paths with bad people for us? Weird and ugly stuff. Because Scorpio is, of course, his transcendence from darkness into light, and yeah, he's just like these beautiful things that can come out of it, and a force that can push forward. But he's also the ruler of sexual things like diseases and obsession and dominance, and things that the darker side of our nature. So with Jupiter here, it's just like multiplying things by 5. You might take it a little too far with these taboos in life, because he can be a bloodsucker, this fella. So these signs, with Mars are in Aquarius, in a fixed sign, and Scorpio is also a fixed sign. They know what they want, and they are kind of radical, and they're in a square. So with these two in a square, we want something so crazy and out there, but at the same time, we can also choose the more pure side. And this is the bipolar choice we have to make with all the Scorpio. And October, November is wild months, and Venus hasn't even reached the 4 degrees where the crazy zone is at. But now we're gonna, because the 4 degrees was also where we had different things going on. There's some long story, don't want to go too far into that, but around these degrees are the crazy stuff. And now we're starting to understand what this Venus retrograde is actually like for us in our lives, more concrete. We are on the way down into the underground, and we are asking ourselves, okay, how much deeper down into the SHIT can we come? Because we feel, now we took a step. But some of the steps we take are also putting boundaries to other people, saying yes, no to other people. And there's also this fear of, do they then respond and come back to us and give us some SHIT? And do we then have a fight, a battle? Because Scorpio is such an aggressive sign as well, right? So, yeah, it's also dealing with this fear. Keeping the innocent side of you alive, keeping the heart open is very important. And the question is, again, are you really who you think you are, or are you just identifying yourself with your ego? You have to find out now who you are. Well, again, but Scorpio is pressure. The sign of Scorpio is pressure. Pressure to grow no matter where we are. We face ourselves, so we think that it's other people, that it's about other people, but it's you're facing when you're meeting resistance. Right? It's you're facing, and you have to dare in Scorpio to be who you really are. And when Mars in Aquarius at the same time wants enlightenment, but then you have to deal with your SHIT if you want that. And Venus in Scorpio is asking, like, are you escaping? Are you hiding? Are you cheating? Are you stealing? Are you lying? Do you feel and follow yourself, or do you follow others and their idea about wrong and right? I mean, in relationships, if we don't try to change ourselves now, nothing, this Venus, is going to happen. You have to look upon how you can change. And Mars and Venus in square, which is still repercussions from it now, in this week, like, our relationships are changing. They're not the same as for 10 years ago. But we all have both Mars and Venus somewhere in our chart. And the one is more conscious than the other. And that side we suppress can, in a square situation, sneak in on the other, more conscious part of you. So you really have to be aware of, are you more masculine than feminine or feminine? And once the opposite side of what you are more is going to come about, then you know, okay, I may have to feed this side that's out of balance. That is the last week of Libra. You need to see which side in you are out of balance. Are you always giving? You need to learn to be the receiver and get your yin energy, your feminine side out. And most of us have too much masculine. We are giving. When is the time for you to receive? Venus wants attention now. Give it to her. Be vulnerable. Dare to be sensitive. Dare to feel. Dare to be. Let your feminine side out. Doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. I'm not talking about gender. The feminine side. And so basically what we're doing now is we're renegotiating our relationships. We're investigating our relationships. We have to change. I mean, we're being detective. We have to change boundaries, and it can feel really weird. So like 2018 is all about, changing on a personal level, clearing out old karma. The inner world is getting cleared, of course. So these huge changes inside of us is what this week is about. And last week of the Libra season here, it's all about the balance out in the relationship. So it's time to get what we deserve also. Time to draw some boundaries. Libra, Scorpio. So the moon is going to be in Capricorn over Pluto first. And that's the death of a new era. Starting Monday, Tuesday. And then the moon is going to be in Aquarius, and where we really, we detach from all the chaos around us, because we can just say, oh, F it, I'm not in it. I'm out here in my mental world. And then we're ending up in Pisces at the very end of the week, we enter a new moon phase in the traditional astrology with Aries, and the moon Monday, Tuesday. And then the moon is going to be in Aquarius, and where we really, we detach from all the chaos around us, because we can just say, oh, F it, I'm not in it. I'm out here in my mental world. And then we're ending up in Pisces at the very end of the week, we enter a new moon phase in the traditional astrology with Aries, and the moon is in Pisces. We have to rely upon God, right? So this is a week we're clarifying things, changing things, and we're detaching, and then ending up with a more intuitive side, right? So fate, destiny is on the table when we are talking also about Capricorn. So it's with Pluto, there's a conscious pushes towards the motives that we have, and we have to notice these signs that comes in our lives from our higher selves through our intuition. And in the Venus retrograde, we are listening to them more, because the Venus is the feminine receptive side is more here. So we take the time to listen to the more spiritual side of ourselves also. In Scorpio, also because of the domino effect of everyone else doing so, then the energy is there. We are in that classroom here on Earth. So first off, in Libra, we were establishing the balance with our inner stuff, and the relationship with ourselves. Then. And then in our relationships in regards to other people. And now, this week, it's more like specific relationships that are the really important ones we're working with now. Find the right soulmates. Find the right teammates at your work, in our lives in general, of course. And we are following the emotional parts. We're following the intuitive parts, the heart now. And so this is new territory we're walking upon. And if you have a hunch and an intuition about something or others, or if something you feel about people, then follow it, You're breaking through this week, and you're starting to see the opportunities that you didn't see before. And we live in a new ascensional level, the quantum physical world that was introduced to us in the zeros, to many of us light workers in the zeros. I remember even in the late 90s, it started really coming up, like because both of my parents are librarians, so I got it. My father's critic as well, so I got the books from him, and I just remember, like, anything right now we can get that we believe we can is possible. If you can see it, it can happen. But you have to know and see and feel that it can happen. There's so much information to get from the Akashic Records, the Universal Library of Info. Just tune in, just log on the internet, the spiritual net, and you get information. I was born with Mercury in Pisces. That means that I don't rationalize as much as you might think. Of course, I also do, because I have a lot in Virgo, but I primarily get my info from my intuition. And this is what we can do with quantum physics. We can enter this information where we can also things and make them go much faster as well. A quantum level and a quantum degree of going through processes at a much faster level. We can change things just through a decision, right? We are not that limited as we thought we were. You're coming on a deeper level in relationships too, and you can really use this information that I just gave you to move forward faster. Because all of this week is a part of this relationship change. So new alignments in the world and in your world is coming. Definitely, I'm positive about it. And you know, the Venus-Mercury conjunction Monday, you're really gonna see how things. Where things are broke and where they have to be fixed, and you'll see how you can, where you have to go towards and where you don't have to go towards. So the old can tempt you to go back, but you have to take a heartful decision and go forwards. And yes, that creates a risk, but who ever gained anything if we weren't following their heart and taking risks? You have to take a risk this week and do something about things. You cannot sleep upon it anymore. Time is now. Stop procrastinating your life. It's your responsibility, no one else's. If you don't do something now, you have lost the train and the chance. Don't sacrifice your boundaries either. If people overstep your boundaries, say something. You don't have to make a speech. Say it shortly. A well-set boundary is a boundary set. This you don't do anymore. You don't even have to say period, because that is just in the air. And people are like, yeah, but this you don't do anymore. Of course, if the person really wants an explanation, okay, I can give it to you, but I have to let you understand that this is my boundary. So in the beginning of the week, we are kind of like divorcing people and having the final conversations with the ones that aren't going to go on the train with us or on the flight into the new realm and world we're doing in relationship-wise. And yeah, so you have to look upon the boundaries, of course, then. And of course, the emotions will intensify some this week and also get a little unclear at times, but you just have to trust the process, right? So ask yourself, what is it that I deserve in my life? What do I really want? With whom do I belong? Where do I want to be? And what do we want to really do with our lives? So at the beginning of the week, you look upon what are the possibilities for me, and at the end you are like, okay, these were my possibilities, now I do it. This is the one that I'm committing to. These are the people. This is the one I want to marry. This is the one I want to do business with. This is the one I want to have kids with. This is the one I want to be friends with. This is the one that I want to start a family with, build a project with, have a friendship with. And then once you've seen that at the beginning of the week, then you go for it. At the end of the week, you say to that person, yes, you're the one. Let's do this. And you take that chance. There's a Rumi saying, goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes. For those who love with their heart, and so there's no separation. So don't be afraid if you have to say goodbye. It's all good. It's all good. Don't follow trends, follow your heart. Thanks for watching. Namaste.
There is this angel saying, I'm gonna find my way back home. The secret is love, he said. You've got to lift yourself up, try again. One day you will break through. What you long for will find you. Through all the hard times, I always seem to find the light in your eyes. We fought through.
Don't follow trends, follow your heart.